All right, Nick, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Draft weekend is behind us. We love to dig in, see what teams brought home. In this one, we're going to have to reach outside of a little bit of the draft here. So we have some really interesting players who actually weren't drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, guys that came in as undrafted free agents. There's two in particular I really like. I know we like these guys. I think they're really impressive. I think Falcons fans should like them as well. And keep your eye on them this coming season because these could be the steals of the draft, even though they weren't drafted. These are still huge steals for the Atlanta Falcons. We'll break those guys down here in just a second. But before we do, I'm Andrew. That's Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, Nick, as I alluded to, some big-time undrafted free agent steals for the Atlanta Falcons. Let's jump on into it. We can talk more about it on the other side. These are both two tweets to get us started off so people know what I'm talking about over on X. The first one's from @JeremyFowler, great reporter. He says, San Jose State wide receiver Nick Nash is signing with the Falcons as an undrafted free agent per source. Nash is the fourth player in FBS history to lead the country in touchdowns at 16, in receptions at 104, in yards and 1,382 yards at the end of the regular season. That's impressive. How did this guy become an undrafted free agent? I have no idea. Secondly, we have from NFL Rookie Watch. It says, Kobe Bryant may have been the steal of the NFL draft, and he didn't even hear his name called. It says Bryant has locked up some of the best stars throughout his collegiate career. Bryant versus Travis Hunter in 2024, 7 targets, 4 catches, 51 yards, 2 passes defended. Bryant versus Quentin Johnston in 2022, 3 targets, 1 catch allowed for 24 yards. And then Bryant versus Xavier Worthy and Tank Dell, 2 guys that everyone knows in the NFL now, combined in 2022, 1 catch for 24 yards. This guy doing a lot of really great work in Kobe Bryant out of Kansas, did a lot of great stuff. So I think these are 2 players that I don't know how they went drafted. I'll say this. I think there's 3 players that I saw in this draft. I said, I do not know how they made it out of the draft. It was Kobe Bryant, it was Nick Nash, and it was Bond. And I think that one is a little bit, obviously the legal implications there. That one is going to be a little bit tough, but still, the Falcons got the 2 other guys that I thought, I have no idea how these guys made it out of the draft. And let's look at a little bit of their grades and just see what they did this year as well. Just kind of put a bow on it, show you exactly how good these guys are. I know we talked about what they've done, Triple Crown, locking up all these big-time receivers. That's important. But we look here at Nick Nash. He had an 86.9 receiving grade last year. He had 2.7 yards per route run, which is pretty good. 3 is really, really good. Some of the better receivers in the NFL average 3. He had 2.7. He had a low drop rate. He had a decent contested catch rate. He had an 82.1 PFF grade versus man coverage, one-on-one with the corner in front of him. Did a lot of really great things. Finally, let's look at Kobe Bryant as well. First of all, great name, championship kind of name there. Nick Nash, another great name. So 2 good name gets for the Falcons. But in 2024, 76.9 coverage grade for him. That's really good. 91.3 run defense grade for him. That's really, really good. You love a corner who can come down and play the run very well. Did decent in man coverage, did a little bit better in zone coverage as you see the grades here. I think these 2 guys are absolute steals. And I think these are 2 guys. Every year there's a couple undrafted free agents that come out the woodwork and really prove themselves, show that they have the potential to make a roster. I know it's hard. It's a long shot for undrafted free agents to make the roster. These are 2 guys that I think legitimately can make the roster for the Atlanta Falcons. I think these guys are really special players. I think they've done a lot of good stuff in their careers, and I think they have a chance to make this roster for the Atlanta Falcons. Curious what your thoughts are on this one, Nick, but before we get to you, Falcons fans, in the comments section below, let us know. We got 2 guys here. I'm going to maybe make a split decision here. Out of these 2 undrafted free agents that we've paired for you today, who do you like the best? Do you think Nick Nash has the most potential, or do you think Kobe Bryant has the most potential? Let us know, and maybe let us know why as well in the comment section below. But nonetheless, Nick, What are your thoughts on these guys coming to Atlanta?
Well, when you talk about an undrafted free agent, you're talking about incredible value usually, right? You don't have to use any draft capital, right? You just have to use whatever signing bonus you give up, which usually isn't a whole heck of a lot. So let's talk about Kobe Bryant here for a second. This is a guy who played big boy football, Big 12 football, like you brought up, did really well in some big matchups against great players. So again, for an undrafted free agent position here, which the Atlanta Falcons provided to Kobe Bryant, they got a guy who has 13 career interceptions. That's a lot in college football. There's a lot of guys that are first and second round picks that don't get up to like 8 career picks. Bryant, 13 career interceptions, 2 return touchdowns, a lot of experience. Cost the Falcons next to nothing. Let's go over to Nick Nash here. This is a guy who, like you said, incredibly, like insanely leading the country in productivity last year at the receiver position. He's a guy who got better and better and better throughout his collegiate career. Came into San Jose State as a quarterback receiver hybrid, played a lot of quarterback, at least in a bunch of different packages, transitioned to full time receiver, changed his body, right? You talk about getting better and better. I think this is something that's really important is that sometimes the guy has a breakout season and you don't know if it just the stars are aligned, he had a favorable schedule and everything worked out. When you look at Nick Nash's breakout season, I say breakout, he dominated the college football world, at least his realm of it at San Jose State. It's because he put in the time. It's because he changed his body from a kind of quarterback dual threat guy into a legit receiver. Completely different guy from 2023 to 2024. Changed his approach, just figured out, basically became a professional wide receiver in college, and we saw it with his numbers. So you're looking at 100 catches, 1,000+ yards, right? All that kind of productivity. What did it cost the Atlanta Falcons? Next to nothing. An undrafted free agent spot, whatever signing bonus they give them. You talk about value in the Atlanta Falcons, and just to preview something we're going to talk about in the coming days, the Atlanta Falcons and Terry Fontenot have been criticized. But when you look at the holistic picture at the draft in the undrafted free agent class, there were very few teams in the entire NFL that got as much value as the Atlanta Falcons got over the past week. We'll cover that in more detail soon, so make sure you keep your eye on that. But I tell you what, folks, for all the criticism you want to levy at the Falcons front office, and some of it is warranted, believe me, what they've done over the past week has been 100% phenomenal. And specifically, these two undrafted free agent guys, my God, these are fourth, fifth round pick kind of guys at worst. I don't know how Kobe Bryant is rated as low as he is. It's so frustrating to me. I thought he would have been a second or third round pick. I think it's just the way the class structured, right? He's a little thinner at the position, right? I don't say red flags. There's some concerns. Maybe that's why he's not a round one or round two guy. But to get him undrafted, absolutely bonkers. And you talk about Nick Nash. This is you're paying for incredible production of a guy who's a great athlete, 6'3", almost 200 pounds. He transformed his body overnight. Great football IQ, team guy. Remember, he was a quarterback that transitioned to wide receiver in college. We see that happen in the pros, usually very uncommon at the collegiate level. Guy who's can come in, be a great team guy. By the way, Atlanta Falcons, you're talking about a comp here for Nick Nash, Mohamed Sanu. You guys remember that name, of course, gadget guy, great receiver, great slot guy. Could also throw the football extremely well. I think retired, I think, with a perfect passer rating or pretty close with all the trick plays he used to do from the receiver position, throwing the ball. I think Nick Nash is Mohamed Sanu 2.0, maybe even a little bit better passing with incredible receiving production. I love these two guys by Atlanta Falcons. And just a little preview once again, I love this entire draft in just everything combined together holistically from Atlanta. This was a great job by the Falcons front office.
Yeah, Nick, and I think there's something we talk about, and we talk about draft, we talk about free agents, talk about like there's two things that you can have as a prospect. You can either have like play on the field, what's good play on the field wise. Maybe you're a little lacking in your physical tools, or you can have like insane physical tools. You just haven't put it all together on the field yet. And that's what blows my mind about these two guys falling so far in particular is these are both guys that had insane play on the field. They had fantastic production, especially Nick Nash. Kobe Bryant, though, really, really did a lot of great stuff against great players. Fantastic production for him as well. These are guys who both have great physical tools as well. Like you alluded to, Nick Nash, 6'3", 195 pounds for a wide receiver. That's pretty good. That's decent height. That's a good size frame. Kobe Bryant, 6'1", 175 pounds for a corner. That's not bad. It's not like he's short. He's not 5'10". He's not 5'8" as a corner. This guy is 6'1", 175 pounds. These are both guys who had good production and have good physical tools as well. So I don't know where the disconnect was. I'm glad the Atlanta Falcons were able to snatch both these guys up. Maybe they, that saw and said, hey, people letting these guys slide, we can catch them in the undrafted free agent side of things. I really think these were two great pickups for them. A great overall draft, like you alluded to. Wait to check that one out. But still, Atlanta Falcons impressed me here. They go out and they get 2 of the 3 guys that I said. I don't know how they made it out of the draft, but somebody better pick these guys up because they're going to get some really good players. Atlanta got 2 of them, and I think they're going to really be proud of themselves for doing it such.
And I just pulled up while you were talking there some of the criticisms about Kobe Bryant. I'm trying to figure out why he fell in the draft. And basically, the consensus is, and bear with me here, because of his frame, because he's a little on the thinner side, he crossed over some theoretical arbitrary threshold where, based on his height, he weighed too little. So he was a great football player. He was phenomenal. 3 straight first team, all Big 12, right? The guy's a great corner at collegiate level, but he just literally got removed from people's draft boards completely, removed from selection completely because he was under a certain weight by a couple pounds. That is absolutely bonkers, right? That's asinine, right? It's arbitrary, right? What difference that makes if he's 177 versus 181 pounds, right? That's the difference. According to these reports, the way some teams were treating it as, hey, we would like this guy to be on our team too. We don't want any part of him. Those 4 pounds, does that matter? Absolutely not, right? But it creates an opportunity for the Atlanta Falcons for finding that value and getting it done. And let's give some credit to the Atlanta organization. You better believe there were multiple teams, I will say with Kobe Bryant and probably Nash as well, that were going after these guys' services saying, listen, we think you're a great player. You fell in the draft for whatever reason. We want you to come to our team. It is a bidding war. It's all out when the draft ends for these undrafted free agent guys. But the Falcons, like you said, got it done with 2 of the top 3 guys available. Speaks to their front office. It speaks to their scouting department. It speaks to their ability to go out and execute and get these kind of deals done. Now, of course, we're still all waiting to see if a deal will be done for the backup quarterback, the veteran. But right now, if you just look at the draft, if you look at what they did in the undrafted free agent class, this was a phenomenal job by the Atlanta Falcons. I know everyone wants to just really dump on the front office, and I get it. There's a lot of things they do that's not very smart. But over the past week or so, it's been the opposite. This has been phenomenal work by Terry Fontenot and the entire Falcons team.